Okay. It's recording.
It's recording. Yay! Okay, awesome. Thanks for your patience, ladies. Those of you watching the recording, we had a little technical difficulty, but we're good. We're off and running now. So.
I was flipping people off. It was better you weren't on.
That is true. He is speaking the truth. Okay, well, we're crazy excited, you guys, to talk with you and share a little more about this whole 90-day frenzy that we learned about from Danielle Lauver when we were in Maui. And there's really two different components of it that we want to talk through with you guys. And like just give you a little bit more of the details of what she shared, and also how you get to own this, be a huge piece of this also. So I will tell you that, and I think Marcy said this the other night on the call, but when she shared, I mean, we were all so blown away. And it's not, like, none of it is rocket science, but there was so much power in, I was just sharing with Amber, how she framed it up at the beginning when she said, I realized that I have spent a lot of my business and a lot of my time trying to control things that I can't control, and carrying the weight of that, you know, with our teams and stuff. And she said, what I realized last year when this vision came to her, and, you know, for her, it was, they have a team of 8 VPs and it was going to 25 VPs. Like, that was her vision. And she said, when I realized like that and thought about what I can control, I knew there were 2 things I could control. And that was my own activity and how I equip my team to go out and do what they set out to do here. And that's what this whole 90-day frenzy is around, is the equipping piece. So, Marissa, I don't know if there's other things that you want to say up front about what she shared. I do have the notes open because there were quite a few things that she said that I want to make sure and point out. But is there anything else you wanted to say about where this came from?
Well, I mean, really the only thing that I would add, and forgive me if I've already said this to you guys, because I can't remember who I told what, but maybe it's okay for you to hear it again. But I truly even just feel like that I could have, even if I didn't have any notes from her training, it was the way she made me feel. And when somebody can get into you like that, like that's why Tara and I feel this like crazy passion and excitement, is because she got into us. She got into my heart, and she made me get out of my head. And, you know, so many times we set goals and we talk ourselves right out of it. And we say to ourselves, oh, Marcy, that's ridiculous. You know, you can't even do this, or look at your numbers this month, or look at sponsoring, or look what you did last year. And immediately, I mean, and I say this all the time, I'm really a very positive person, but this business has a way, it creeps into those, any place it can find a crack. And she gave me that permission that it's okay to dream big and it's okay to miss, but don't dream big and then stop yourself. Dream big and go for it, and wherever you land in between, like, and she didn't even say it that way, but, and again, it's nothing we've never heard before. But I walked out there and I was like shutting my book going, that's all I needed, because this business is about you and your belief and what you're going to do with it and your activity. It doesn't matter if we have a frenzy or we have verbiage or we have a website. I'm telling you right now, none of that matters. What matters is 100% what's going on in your heart. And I hope that through this frenzy that we can together, all of us, like, muster all that up so that you guys are all feeling it. It helps your teams feel it. Because once a team catches on to that vision and that fire, then watch out. So, you know, that's why I'm excited about the 90-day frenzy, is I hope that we can muster that all up. But you guys, it's all in you and it's all in your heart. And I left there 100% just going, okay, I've been shrinking back and I'm going to set this ridiculous goal. And I have it on my screensaver. I say it all the time. Like I'm back in that. And like, that's what we need to be focusing on. And then it goes from there. So that's all I want to say is I want to give you guys permission to dream big and quit worrying about, because the past does not predict your future unless you keep telling yourself the same thing and you keep doing the same thing. Then that you can pretty much guess what it's going to look like. But if you're ready to make some changes and dive in and put those blinders on and tell yourself those things, like, so who cares if you miss? So that's really like my message to everybody and to myself. And quit thinking about what's happened in the past and move forward and give yourself permission to dream big and go for it. And if you miss by a little, who cares? And she wanted to have 25 VPs in her success line, and they got to 15. So who cares that she missed? They doubled, they tripled. I don't know, but so anyway, okay, I'm done.
No.
That's what I wanted to say.
It's good. Well, and it made me think about like, okay, there's enough people in our organizations that are saying, I'm not moving. Like, why am I not moving? And I was just sharing that, I talked to somebody yesterday and I could hear the belief or the lack of belief there. And I think Marcia's exactly right. Like that's where it goes. That's where it starts, like that foundation. And so we have to help people again, like build that foundation strong enough that they feel equipped to go out and fill the funnel. Because at the end of the day, when we're not growing and we're not moving, it's because we're not putting people through the funnel, right? And maybe that probably boils down to a belief thing. Maybe it's confusion. Maybe it's I don't know where to start, whatever. And so we want to make it like so simple and so exciting, like remind people of this, of what they're a part of. And I think that the whole Live a Life of Pure Joy page, like we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And there's some nuts and bolts around that too, but we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And my hope and my prayer is that more people will be putting more people through the funnel, because at the end of the day, if we're not sharing, I was just having a conversation with Julie about this morning. If we're not sharing with enough people in a month, and if we're only gauging our businesses, like we're all so excited about finding detoxers, right? Like I absolutely love that. But if all you're doing in the course of a month is talking to your 5, maybe 10 would be awesome, but you're talking to your 5, 7, 8 detoxers, and that's it. And you're like, well, I'm coaching my detoxers. Well, that's not enough. We know that it's 20 and 30 and 40 people, and it's how many people have heard the business overview, and how many people have you had a conversation with about this? And, like, let's say you have 2 or 3 guests at every Teach at the Table and at every Nation meeting. Well, that's still only 4 to 6 people. Like, and maybe you're coaching 5. That's still only 10 people. And so I think it's like redirecting their eyes to, like, we've got to be out there putting people through this funnel. And the daily asks are huge. But I think so the 2 sections of this are the skills calls and the Live a Life of Pure Joy page. And even with those skills calls, just reminding people, again, you can do this, but let's talk about, how do you ask? How do you invite? How do you handle objections? When you do ask and somebody says, no, I already do a protein shake, do you ask 3 more questions, or do you just stop right there, right? Those skills. So I think one of the first things we want to talk through is, if we have 12 weeks of skills, so we have 11 left, where is it that you guys as leaders of your teams feel like we definitely need to talk about these things? And Marcy and I have jotted down 10, 11, 12 ideas, but we really want to hear from you, what you think is standing out. And then I'll tell you just up front that Danielle, what she did was she picked 6 topics, and it was 12 weeks, and she just rotated them. Like, she did all 6, and then she did 6 again. And the trainings might be a little bit different, but let me open it, and I'll tell you exactly what her 6 topics were, just to kind of get your wheels going. Most of them started with an S, if I remember. Yep. Well, scheduling, fostering.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We really only have 10. Also, just so we want to do 5 and 5. but because
Okay.
we had the 3 principals last week, and then we have Laura Harry doing commitment.
Oh yeah. Which
So,
that's awesome.
just
Which
so
that actually fits in. I mean, I think we can fit those in, but yes. I hear you. And actually, she kind of only has 5 topics here too, because she combined 2 of them. So it's scheduling, sponsoring, sales, service, and then she combined self-development and staying connected. She called that 6, but she combined those last 2. So, I mean, commitment is total personal development kind of thing, I think. So again, that's just to kind of, I was talking to another MVP this weekend, and she's like, well, we're just doing the same 6 topics that Danielle did, and then we're repeating them again. And I said, did we have those? And she said, yeah, she gave them to us. And then I pulled it back up, and it was just more of these topics that we had. So what is jumping out at you guys as like, make sure that we have a call on this? Play along, Amber.
Yeah. Hey, Marcy, you said something about you were working on mindset.
Yep.
Like be a whole separate.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like that's one of the biggest things I run into is people like excuses, that people give about they don't have enough time or they're trying to, I don't know. A big one I feel like Jamie and I see on our team, she's smirking over there, is like people having a hard time with like, I'm trying to balance like being here for my kids and I don't want to feel like I'm on my phone all the time. Like people just have crappy time management, honestly, like just helping people work through that. And I'm not trying to like, I'm not singling anybody out. I've done it myself. Like I'm not trying to do that, but just that excuse of, and that's to me, that's a mindset thing. Like,
Sure. Well,
saying Marcy, just I don't remember what if it was from Saturday. I think that you were kind of like the whole $2,500 a month thing. I mean, it's figuring out what does it mean to be nooks and crannies. Like I feel like we hear that, but people like have a hard time with that.
It's not just us. So, they trained on this in Omaha at the retreat I did this weekend. Like this is an Arbonne thing, and it's definitely mindset, but like there was a whole speaker that she talked a lot about excusing and blaming and justifying, all of those things, or are you growing? But absolutely, I think mindset is definitely one. I mean, Amber and I met with somebody yesterday, and like you could see, like as we were talking with her, like and her doubts were coming out and where her mindset was, like you could see her transitioning over. Like you could physically see it happening, and what we're receiving from her this morning is totally different. But she just needed to be reminded, and she also kind of needed to be called out on where her mindset was at.
Yep. And that's a good skill to have, to call people out on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think too, Ashley, just to add to that is, and again, I mean, Tara and I take responsibility for this. We've heard Deanna take responsibility for this. I mean, you hear Arbonne taking responsibility for this. Like, there's just been a lot of confusion. There's been a lot of change. There's been a lot of and again, I'm not pointing fingers, and I take full responsibility because I do, when I hear something good, I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe our team could benefit from that. So it's always out of a place of, can this help people? But yet I think sometimes it confuses people, but there's just been a lot of that over the last 5 years with Arbonne in general. And again, I think that's why Tara was saying that, like Omaha's feeling it, Arbonne, I mean, it was said, I mean, simple, duplication, like across the board in Maui, like so we really are trying to get there. And, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but Arbonne's come out with the 30 days to skincare. And if you've noticed, we haven't mentioned anything about it, and we're not going to for a while, because right now we're laser focused. And that's not if we said, okay, guess what, team, we're going to add this Facebook page, everybody would be like, what? I mean, you could just see it in people, like just the confusion and the overwhelmingness. So it's very important as leaders that you lock arms with us and you help keep people focused, because there really is just a couple jobs. You know, you want to share the business and you want to share the 30-day. And if one person doesn't want to do this, well, hopefully they'll want to do that, right? Like if they intertwine, and we keep it simple, because that's going to allow people to fit this in the nooks and crannies. But if they really do feel like, I don't know if I should post on Facebook, and I don't know if I should ask this, I don't know if I should do this type of presentation, that's why people, you know, and again, like, I'm not preaching to anyone but all of us, but Tara and I want you to lock arms with us and like plug into these schedules with us, promote them with us. We can't do this on our own, but help us buy into what we are trying to do, and lock arms with us, because that's what's going to create less confusion. And because the more people do it, it's simple, quick. Like it's going to be better. So, but it is out there, and it is definitely a skill, and it's definitely something that needs to be trained on. So, yeah.
Hey, Marcy, can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is Erin. Just one other thing I can say that I think has to do with mindset, but that we just need to keep telling ourselves and our team not to get, I mean, yes, I totally believe that, because I'm the queen of head trash and all of that. So I totally get that, and I appreciate everything that everybody has done for me. But I also think that we all also need to keep in mind, and I know you've been talking, you and Tara both have been talking a lot about this, but who's next? So, you know, it keeps, no matter what anybody else has going on, that we as individuals are still able to keep our goals in focus and not think, well, it's not going to happen because something's not going on in somebody's, you know, in my organization's business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That we just keep forging ahead and, as you know, looking for that next person. And so,
yeah,
I don't know, but I just,
yeah, new blood is so
yeah.
fresh. And yeah, we could all talk all day long about like just existing consultants, and yeah, new blood, it is fresh, and it keeps it exciting, and that gets you out of your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. Ambra commented last night after the Teach at the Table. She was like, oh my gosh, like just having a couple of guests there and being there last night, like totally, it was like a shot in the arm, right? Like, I mean, we've all heard it. We've all taught it. There's nothing wrong with our business that activity can't cure, but it's because the new people, like they were excited to hear what was shared last night. You know, Paula's excited to do the 30-day. Well, all of a sudden you hear that and you want to go talk to 10 more people. Like we all know that, but I feel like we're probably all hearing again, you know, from people that are like, gosh, I mean, I've heard the word stuck too much lately. And I know that just means there isn't enough new, which means there's not enough asking and inviting. There's not enough putting them through the funnel. And I do think we need to be reminded, like you just said, Erin, who is next? Like, are your eyes really on that? Or are you so caught up in, and yes, coaching your detoxers is our lead, and it's huge. And maybe it's one of those people that's next. But again, maybe it's not. And in Omaha, something that struck me was like how much of the basic training they were doing that I was like, we haven't done that in a minute. Like we haven't taught on that. And that made me even more excited for this skills thing, because I think we've done a really good job in the last couple months of painting like what our mission is and that how we're going to lead and get out there. But again, you still in this business have to be putting yourself out there on a daily basis, then asking and sharing and inviting new and digging deep and working on your belief and all of those things. And when those things don't happen, people just stand still. And I think I love what Marcy just said, that like, oh my gosh, we need this team. Like it's not us. It is you guys on this call and on this recording. Like it is this group together. They're watching us, you guys. Like what we do with this, that's what predicts what happens in 2018, right? Who we're in front of, how, like the excitement we're creating on that page, who we're coaching, what new we're bringing in, and how we're holding each other accountable, right? I mean, like this is what we do is what's going to trickle down.
Yeah.
Like new people right here, which I love because go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So just for the sake of time, because it's already 1:30, and I don't know how long everyone can stay on, but I mean, I can stay on till 2, but I don't know if everybody can. But okay. So let me like kind of read you guys some and jot these down. I'll read slow. Jot them down, and we'll give you a second to maybe think about some of the things that you think that really need to be trained on. And then I think what we need to do is review again, like what we're doing, what's set up, what we really need help with, and maybe this is something that we can post on the AMVP page, the categories and the dates, and then you guys go fill them in. But that is something else that we would love to have this 90 days planned out so that everyone knows what to expect. It's a team effort. And all of that. So, okay, these are things that Tara and I, we spent a couple hours brainstorming last week, maybe 4, like 8 hours, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so I know it's easy to, we can all go big, but let's like, I'm going to bring it back. So, okay, so we talked about vision. We talked about training on, the Arbonne 30-day overview, that 1-page summary, which is kind of a page and a half because the incomes are on that second page. So vision, and then what do we call that? Arbonne 30 overview, I think. Okay. Is this business for you? Which you guys, I just want to say next Monday, the 29th, Julianne is going live in the Healthy is the New Happy Facebook group. And she's going to do a business overview presentation. And she posted on there, if you do one with your consultant, which I told her to go in and say, just tell them to get on live or consultant, because I'd rather people get on live so you can start getting trained on what we're trying to say, how we say it. But it's maximizing your membership, and it's about the Arbonne business. And then you get a free product if they do that. So there's going to be training within the training, like within our activity, basically. So
then they get a free, so we're all offering free products to any of our detoxers that get on and watch that, you're saying?
Yep, she put that on there. And so we're just going to tell everyone, just if you have to give a sample, give a sample. If you have a full-size gift, give a full-size gift. But yeah, if they get on, you give them a gift.
Yep. Beth McKee told me that when they do this, that it's a sample strip. So tell people, like, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
sample strip with a cute bow on it, because they get on and listen. It doesn't have to be a box of fizzies for everybody that listens.
No, yeah. It has to be duplicatable. Remember that.
Yep.
Okay, so is this business for you? So that kind of goes along with Monday night. Okay. Follow up. Launching a new consultant. Inviting guests, or inviting to an event, or inviting to hop on a virtual or whatever, so inviting.
Kind of that whole scheduling piece, Yeah,
maybe I should call it that.
I feel like we've gotten away from that word. And again, if your calendar's now full of conversations, so I like scheduling.
Okay,
go.
I like it. Goals. We have way more than 12 at 10. Okay, there's commitment on there, because that's going to be next week. And she really goes into a lot of things, but
there's going to be mindset in that for sure, right?
Yeah.
Vision.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to combine those. So referrals. Okay, we already said mindset, and then I wrote down excuses from just dealing with those excuses, and time management from Ashley. And and then I have asks, but that's kind of with scheduling.
I think coaching detoxers still like, and with that one, turning detoxers into business builders.
Right. I think that one would, yeah. That's kind of, that goes along with the referrals, I think, too, though. I'll put that together.
Turning them into business build, yeah, you could do it all together. I think they're two separate things, but you could do it together.
Good in one call, yeah.
Julie requested overcoming objections as one, and like I think it's part of the asking, but we were talking this morning how many people, you ask and the people push back a little, like, oh, I already do blah blah blah, and you don't ask 3 more questions, and sometimes when you do, you get deeper. So I don't know where that, overcoming objections, I think,
yeah,
could be its own.
Yep.
So we kind of think that mindset, vision, and commitment is all part of Laura's. So how many do we have?
Erin and Ashley, do you remember what else she talked about besides my notes are downstairs, but we were blown away by her. It was so good. It's going to be awesome.
Was she the one you tried to record and you couldn't? There was somebody you were dying because you were like, I wanted you to hear it, and I tried to record it.
I think it was. I say that. Yeah. You couldn't write fast enough. Like it was, I finally put my pen down and just took it in. Like it was so good. That's why I'm like, oh, this would be good to have it on recording. But
yeah, I do have a note on here that says every day there's a chunk of time that I must schedule to commit to my business and growing towards my best me. So I know she talked a little bit about personal growth. You can only control yourself, but you can influence others. So, I think a lot of it is, I think I just stopped too, because I don't really.
I know. Okay.
I'm reading through my notes real quick with let's see, she talked about distractions. I don't know that would need to be its own, but she talked about planning, the 6 non-negotiables for the next day. So you work it consistently, not constantly. And she talked quite a bit about vision, just keeping that in front of you, which I know you've talked already about vision, but that was a big thing with her. So,
okay. Awesome.
There was a training this weekend. I don't know where it fits, but I loved it. It was top 5 traits of people who promote and top 5 traits of people who don't. I think maybe that excuses and time management. Like
that's good.
With that. They nailed it. I was like, woo!
I'm crawling under going, oh my gosh. That's a good one.
Yeah, so I'll put that in there.
Okay.
With the excuses and time management one. And I think, we'll expand these as they go. I'm looking over my notes to see what else jumped at me.
Okay, we'll call Laura Harry's commitment and vision. And, just to kind of knock some of those out. Mm-hmm. She does, if I remember right, that whole excusing, justifying, blaming, like, again, I don't know that she used those words, but it was definitely that feel of you control, so.
Yeah, maybe we do this other one, like in the middle, because we're probably going to hit on some of the same stuff.
Okay.
They did a whole training on duplication, which I know you talked about that quite a bit on Saturday. I don't think we can be reminded enough of the power of that and what you're doing duplicates. They had a whole training on coaching detoxers, and I mean, it was literally like, I send them this healthy living cheat sheet on this day. I always call them on the weekend before, and we always talk about these 5 things. And this was from Molly Croker, who she coaches 20 at a time always. There were still things that she said that I was like, oh, I don't do that. Or, oh, so I think that warrants its own call. I really do think.
That'd be awesome. Well, and she could do it. She would do it for us. You and I both have done so many calls for her.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we have what we kind of do is Tara and I will, I mean, is there anyone, well, let's say this, is there anything that's left or like out there that we haven't touched on that you guys are feeling a tug to, that you really want? I mean, so much of it too is sponsoring consultants. And that's what we're going to talk about next. But is there anything that you guys are like, we haven't said yet that we can add to our list? And then what I was going to say was Tara and I can kind of talk. We'll group these together, put them out there in the 12 weeks, 11 weeks. And then you guys plug in which ones you want to do, which trainings you'll be willing to do on those Saturday skills calls. And
Marcy,
then, yeah.
I'm sorry, I just had a thought. What about closing? Like if I think back to my new days, like there was always nuts and bolts trainings on closing. Where does that fit in? I mean, I know it's...
Yeah. I think we write it down.
Said sales, like from her topics, scheduling, sponsoring, sales.
Yeah.
On the 30-day overview too, you guys, something we didn't mention is Marcy and I talked about like that as a launch script and that as, you know, a workshop script too. I mean, for some people that's a one-on-one, that's a virtual thing, a workshop, like it doesn't really matter. I don't know, but that makes me think like, should there be a call on filling your funnel? Like, how are you getting in front of? I think it'd be fun for different people to hear from different ones of us. Like, how did I get in front of my 25 to 35 people last month or whatever number we're picking? It's kind of like Beth Streiter used to say, I don't care what you call it. I don't care what number you pick, just stick to it and do it consistently. So that's 30 or if that's 40. But I think filling that funnel, I don't know. I know the goal is 10 detoxers. Or for me, like that's the goal. But when you're not there yet, then that means people hearing the overview, people watching the video, coffees. I have 2 basically referral coffees this week where I'm meeting with people who have told me I don't want to do it, but I'm like, okay, who can you get me in front of? Like Molly she's sharing the 30-day with doctors' offices, with preschool, groups of preschool teachers. Like people are coming to her and asking her to share this. So like the word has just spread like wildfire because that has been her focus, right? And so she's filling her funnel. And again, that's one example, but last week, one day I talked to her, she had 5 coffees that day. Like, well, there's a reason that you're motoring, you know, you're filling your funnel, you're getting in front of people. 2 of them were on the phone and 3 of them were live. You know, and you hear people that say, I want to move. Well, that's the kind of thing it takes to move, like really move. And I think we need to remind, like, that doesn't have to be your pace. But again, if you want to move and you're not moving, you need to be filling your funnel, like at the end of the day.
Okay.
I have one other thought. I feel like also, especially, well, for anybody, but especially new people, since you kind of said you feel like we haven't done this in a while, is about them sharing why they're doing this.
Yes. Yes.
Because I was just thinking about something today when I was talking to Jamie, and just from some other like trainings and stuff I've been listening to, is I'm starting to feel, actually, I just said this out loud for the first time today, but I feel like part of the reason why the process can be so long, like from getting people like so many exposures to talk to them, is because it's not like emotional enough. Like it's not getting to where they're like, oh my gosh, I do need that, or I am missing that, or like it's too much. Like, here's all about our products, and here's our compensation plan, and here's all of our like why we're better, and blah blah blah, and it takes us forever to get to sharing our why with them or making some emotional connection. So I just think people being more confident and knowing how to share that at the beginning would be really helpful.
Yeah, I think maybe, I love it, Ashley. And I think maybe it's a combination of sharing our why and uncovering theirs. Like, I think you could do a call on both. I was just listening to one that Bonnie Erickson did today, and we've all heard it. And like Marcy's my favorite example of it. When you know that you know that you know that you're why, and it's so powerful, like you won't stop. You'll keep going. I mean, that's always how I think of Marcy, and that's how I think of the 18 months or the 12 months before we promoted. Like, I figured out such a strong why that I would talk to anybody and I wouldn't shut up about it. And this girl we met with yesterday, like, once she was reminded and like uncovered her why again to herself, she was like, I got to talk to people. And so I do really think that I think that warrants a call. And I think people get away from it. Sometimes it's scary, or it goes deep in you, right? And some people don't want to go there. I think this was part of my training in Omaha, actually. Okay, I like that. That's good. Anybody else? And then, yeah, I think we can bucket them and maybe put on this page if there's certain ones that you really feel strong that you want to train on. Or is there any that, I know a lot of people are going to watch the recording, but is there any that you guys that are on that are jumping at you right now?
Might be interested in commitment. I love, my pastor shared this last Sunday, just this line, and it's really resonated with me. And I see that some of my girls that have started but haven't really started, but they think they started, that they're getting stuck in this. And the line is, live in the mission without being controlled by the mess.
Hmm.
And I feel, and to me, that means crazy, crazy, crazy. You got your kids, you got your husband, you got your house, your laundry, whatever life crisis comes up. And you just, and that's where part of that duplication comes in, I think, and makes me feel better going, okay, Marcy taught us this Saturday, all the things, that she taught us. And so, I mean, just because it's not going easy or fast or whatever, doesn't mean that so anyway, that's one thing that's been stirring in me. So maybe that one, although I'm nervous to commit.
I think that's what Laura Harry is doing Saturday, but again, right, Marcy, isn't that her theme?
Yeah, her title is called Commitment Is, or something like that. Like, it's,
well,
but
that's awesome, and that's what's stirring in me. So I'll just be, for myself, focusing on that.
No, that's awesome. Hey, and pay heed to that, because that's what you're supposed to be paying forward into other people. If that's
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think you can always do a Facebook Live within our Nation page and say, this is just a tug that I had after, before Laura spoke and after Laura spoke, and make it 3 to 5 minutes of something that's you know, again, I say this all the time. This is our page. It's not my page. It's not, you know, like this is for everyone to post and learn and grow from, and for that community feel. So I would love that if you would do that.
I agree. All of you, like the more that they hear from all of us, I mean, it's contagious, and I think it needs to come from this community of leaders, and it needs to be such that they want to be a part of that, right? I mean, I think that was a big piece of the white party too, and wanting to be a part of that, and you know, all of these promotions that are going to happen means this AMVP team needs to grow a lot and will grow a lot. But I totally agree. Like, I think little blurbs that any of you guys can put on there, which that leads us to the other page we're going to talk about, but that's going to be huge. So is there anything else? I think we can run with that. So Laura's this weekend. Laura Harry. Okay, so the first one that we will do is the next one. Okay.
Hey, Tara.
Yeah.
It's Ambra from the car.
Oh, good.
Did you have, I think I heard Ashley Cole. I don't know why I called you Ashley Cole. But what about, I would love to talk on like your why, if that's something that we end up doing.
Yep. I think you were walking out when I was talking about that. So yes. And I was talking about like your why and uncovering theirs too. And even the power yesterday when we reminded her of her why, and she was like, oh yeah, like I got to get out there and I have to do this. Yeah.
Well, then it becomes a non-negotiable. Like it's so attached to their why that they can't stay stuck.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that definitely needs to be one, and probably early on too. Okay. You want to move to the other page, Mars?
Yeah. So, so in addition to the 12-week skills calls, for 12 weeks, they had another Facebook group that really was geared towards, you know, sponsoring consultants into, and really, I mean, it could be even preferred clients, you know, like, because this page could, you know, like Tara and I were talking, like somebody might share my story, and somebody might say, you know, I lost 10 pounds, I have more energy, I'm sleeping better, I'm able to keep up with my kids. And so I thought, why not do this business? Why not share it? Like, so that may be your story. And then, so this person may or may not want to do the business, but they may be like, oh gosh, I need to do this 30-day. I want more energy. I want to lose weight, you know, like, so we want this to really go hand in hand. And we thought, why not? We already have this live a life of pure joy with Arbonne set up. Most people are already in it. And so once a week, they would go live, and every other week they had more of a bigger Discover Arbonne, and then every other week was a shorter version. But regardless of which it is, you do like that week you would do like a disarming thing to the whole page, meaning you would post a family photo. So let's say Ashley Cole is going to do it next Monday. Ashley would go on the Facebook page and post a picture of her and her family. And she would say, I'm so excited to share my story with you all next Monday. And, you know, I'm a wife and mom of 4 boys, and this is my background, and I've been in Arbonne for 10 years. Cannot wait to share, you know, my journey with Arbonne. And then maybe 2 days later, she posts an actual my story from Arbonne, you know, those 2 3-minute clips. And then maybe the next day she posts something about AIT, like the video from AIT, or, you know, the Maui video or GTC video, like, you know, you could pick a video. And then she reminds people on Sunday, can't wait to talk to you all next week. So it's kind of these gentle little reminders, but it's going to notify the consultants, but it's also going to notify the people that are in that group. And then Monday night, we picked night, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday night she would go live. And then
We said 8:30 on Monday night.
Okay. And then the next week, it could be a shorter version, you know, and then the next week it's a longer version. And then again, we can kind of figure out those details, but where it's somewhat of a Discover Arbonne. Maybe you're picking, maybe it's, we all agree on like 5 points that you really want to make sure you say, or 3 points or whatever. Maybe it's the incomes, maybe it's, what is network marketing? I don't know. Like, we'll figure that out. But we just, again, really want to make this like, just for people to see our culture and really like see our hearts and what we're up to and why we're up to it. And everyone's story is important. Everyone's story is a little different, but we all have the same mission at the end. And so we just really liked this idea. And so really, and when Danielle was talking, like they focused on sales and sponsoring and, those things like, so they actually had another page for sales, but we've decided to not do that because we really feel like, again, we're focusing on the Arbonne 30. And then, so that's the sales part of it. And we will be talking about the skincare within that group and all of that. And then, so this could be geared more towards, sponsoring and, again, doing a really good job closing. And maybe we can all we can have another call, Zoom call, so that we close the same, so that because the closing is one of the things we talked about, but like if people see it that way each time, or at least a similar way each time, they're like, oh, okay, she says that. Oh gosh, she says that too. Oh, again, we're all on that same page. So,
I think too, something she pointed out that's huge is, okay, so yes, this will be all of us. Like if it's your week to present and you're posting 1, 2, 3, 4 times before to build it up. But I think I said this at the beginning of the call, but like without the ask and training our teams on the ask after they get tagged on one of these videos or watch them, it's very pointless. I almost wonder if that's, I'm like, that could be another skills call. But she said, like, I mean, and we can put this in writing. She said, you follow up and you say, did you get a chance to get on the video or the Facebook Live, whatever? No. Okay. I'll tag you in the recording and I'll get back in touch with you tomorrow. And then yes, if they watched it, okay, what did you think? And you move the client through the funnel to a new PC, to a one-on-one, to a presentation, or best yet, a consultant, right? So I think we're going to have to remind and re-remind them of that too. And I talked to somebody else who's done one of these pages, or she's really close to somebody who's done one of these pages this weekend. And so she's starting it. And she said, they are putting so many people through this and they're like stalkers. Like they can get on this page and nobody has to know. And they're actually watching everything, every video, everything that's on there. And their teams are growing because of it, because of the follow-up piece that's happening from that too. So it's just another good tool virtually for people to experience our culture. But it's only going to work if everybody uses it and if we all, again, build it and create an energy on it too. But I think it's going to be fun.
I do want to say kudos to Ashley Cole because this was her vision. And this is what I can't remember, I think you heard it in a webinar or something. And she told me about it and I was like, that's awesome. And so, this is just kind of a rebirth of that same thing, Ashley. So, this, I know it's very fun to see, like to have this all like come about. So this is what she was trying to accomplish.
Ashley, we knew you were smart.
Yeah. So we're just going to have a rebirth of this thing. And
it was another Ashley. Mom.
Oh yeah. Wow.
It was somebody from a totally different company, but they do these 2 pages, like one's about products and I don't know, they maybe just do one and they kind of do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But I definitely think the products will come up in this page, but it's not the focus.
Stories and
Yeah. So best copycat wins. And again, that's what we're doing is we're just creating this simple system for people to plug people into and just be a part of the energy and be a copycat. And so, yeah, very good.
Something she said that we might want to think about is like they really only put a lot of new content in this for the first 3 months of last year. Like it was an all-out focus on building it. And then after that, it was more tagging people on, oh, you would relate with my friend Ashley's story, like go see this, and drippings. But it's this first 12 weeks that really created that page.
Yeah, and she also gave verbiage on how to ask for it, and it was something like, you call your friend and you say, listen, my friend so-and-so is going to share on Monday night, and is it okay if I put you in this group because your story reminds me of hers, and I just want you to take a look. Like, or then she even had just even simple verbiage of, girl, you need to hear this. I'm putting you in. Like, I tried to write it down, and I didn't get all the verbiage, but you guys, we really need you to, I just lost your faces. Here you are. Go back to your teams and plug this, because not everybody was on the call when Tara and I did it together. Not everybody was on the call on Saturday. I don't even know if I talked about it, but, so we need your help exploding this and making it awesome, because people want to be a part of what other people are doing. And that's the whole excitement behind it. So, talk to your consultants and districts and get them on board with this too. Because I like Tara said, the people who are doing this, some of the teams that we know, they're exploding, and that's what we want. So
I also heard this weekend that it's a great tool for cold market. You're out and about, and she said sometimes they don't want to give you their phone number, but you can say, here, just put your name in here. Like, find yourself on Facebook for me with my phone. She said, I literally just hand them my phone and say, find yourself. Okay, I'm going to add you in. I need you to, you've got to hear what my friend Marcy is sharing Monday night, and then I'll check in and see what you think. So I thought that was a fun tip too for cold market.
I love it. And so make sure you teach your teams that there's 2 rules. One, it's not a mass ad, and you give your quote unquote prospect permission to leave at any time, because they'll get notifications for the next 12 weeks. But so make sure you tell them, do not mass ad, get people's permission, and then tell them that they can say, after you hear it, hear my friend, if you want to leave the group, that's fine. You give that permission. It's just like letting people off the hook. And I love that. But I think it's going to be good. I think they're going to want to, like you said, Tara, people are going to be stalking people. So
here's an idea, and I don't want to complicate things, but I heard it this weekend, and I think it's worthy of us throwing it around. So I was telling her about our My Story Mondays, kind of being the main thing of this. And she was talking about how many people in Arbonne do Wellness Wednesday, and she was like, we're just going to put a little Wellness Wednesday tip in there, just to, that's not a 4-minute Facebook Live video. It's like Wellness Wednesday tip of the week. And I'm like, that's kind of fun. And I think we're going to have fun and play with this, but that's another thought. And again, we're just,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I want to give all of you guys permission, get on there and put stuff. Again.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't have to wait on us. You don't have to ask us. This is a great place, for them to see all of us leaders. And I think our excitement it's not going to feel like something we have to do if we do it right. It's going to be like, oh, good, I get to get on here and share this because this happened and I want to share this or whatever. So,
yeah. So just know that your week, though, the week prior to you going, you're going to want to post, 3 or 4 times. And
Yep.
So can we go ahead and we alternated a DA the first Monday and third Monday, pretty much the full DA, and then the second Monday and the fourth Monday are going to be more just a little a little shorter. And again, this is going to involve, I'm sure, and maybe it ends up being a 20 minutes, and that's a short version. And maybe, I think honestly, I think they need to be 20 minutes or less regardless, but so let's just start there. But can you guys, since the ones that are on here live, can you all look at your calendar really quick? Let's get some of these filled up so that then when we post it, we can tell the ones who are listening to the recording, hello, for those listening to the recording, here's where we need filled. So can anyone shoot out a couple dates and then
grab my calendar.
And Tara and I are pretty much out on, well, for sure the third Monday because of the Teach at the Table. But honestly, like even the first Monday, I would prefer not to do it just because, you know, the nation meeting and stuff. But if we had to, of course, we will. It's a Monday night. But for sure not the third Monday because we're committed to that.
Okay, so our first one we need filled is the 29th. Oh, and Julianne's doing that within the 30-day group.
I know.
She's doing it in
Five
the
Mondays.
month. She's doing it both. What'd you ever find out on that? The
She's-
mid-month or the beginning of month or?
Well, she's for sure doing it in the first one, and she's going to see if she can do it in the second one. But if we have to do it again in the second one, we will. But
Okay.
I know. I almost wonder if
I think that's okay. I think it's okay if we still do one because,
just to get it going.
yeah, there's not that many people in the detox groups. Just to get it going. And again, you can go back and tag people like.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Let's come out. Okay. So let's do the 29th. And that one could be kind of a shorter, you know, just a shorter one, kicking it off, because the first Monday is the 5th, and that'll be a bigger one. I know you guys are so excited, and they're going to be awesome.
You know, I think in the weeks between the DAs, like I really would focus on your story, and of course the opportunity is going to get weaved in there, you know, just because. But like I'm calling them My Story Mondays, like especially on these shorter weeks, I really would focus on your story, and then
Well,
yeah,
and
weaving.
what I mean by that, you guys, it's your why. Like, what were your hesitations? Why did you start? Where do you see yourself going? What do you see happening for the people who decide to do this? Like, it's that vision painting. So, yeah.
Everybody wants to go first.
I will do it.
Yay! Bonus points for Ashley.
You've narrowed down your why. You have a good why.
Right.
Angela.
Sorry, girl.
Sorry.
Are you just going week by week?
Which one do you, well, I was just going to say, well, I mean, because if you have something that night, I don't want to stress you out, but I was going to say, you want to do the 5th?
Sure.
Okay.
I was busy writing down what you wanted us to include in our why, and I know I know this, but I feel like there was one thing I was like, talked about your vision painting for. What'd you say?
So I said,
Or
your why is like, what hesitations did you have?
Yes.
Why did you, what did you see for yourself? Like, why did you go ahead and do it? You know?
Like hope.
Yeah. How did you overcome that objection? And then where do you see yourself going? Because I know, I'm sure the reason I said that is if you guys are sitting there going, well, I'm an area manager and you're not enoughing yourself, then this is me slapping you through the computer. Like, first of all, I will never forget when I met an area manager. It was Marcy Knopf, and I was like starstruck. Everybody wants to be an area manager. Yeah. It's an incredible place to be. So that's me like slapping you guys going, I don't know, I'm just an area. No. So slap. Everybody wants to be an area. That can $1,000 to $3,000 is life-changing for people. So you have to, and think how many people are on our team that are consultants and districts even that want to be an area. So they look up to you. And so it's huge. So where do you see yourself going with this? And where, help them see where they can go if they choose to do this. So it's just that vision painting. You know, maybe the Pure products got you excited, and that was something that means a lot to you. That does not mean a lot to maybe the person next week. Maybe it truly was just the income that got you like excited, and then you fell in love with the products. Like, honestly, that was me. I say this all the time. It could have been used tires and I would have done this business. Like, thank God it's not. But like, find, you know, you make it your story. There's no right or wrong. So anyway, you're the fifth?
Yep.
Okay.
Mercy, can you tell me again, what were some of the suggestions you had for what to post like the week before? Because I need to get started.
Yeah. So first one is your, like, a family photo, and like a little bit about you. So like what was your background? Like, say what you used to do. You're a mom of 4 boys, you're married. And then, so that would be like your family photo day. And then I love the Wellness Wednesday idea. You know, maybe that's just like drinking so many glasses of water. Maybe that's moving your body. Maybe it's having fun. I don't know. And then one day is post a My Story video from Arbonne. And maybe one day is like, you know, like they have those little AIT clips. They have Maui clips that are like 2 minutes. They have GTC clips. Like, you're not going to post all of those, but pick one, and then the next week somebody could pick a different one. And then on Sunday night, do a reminder. You know, can't wait to go live tomorrow night. Can't wait to meet all of you or talk. I don't know.
Another one she said is a photo of the comp summary.
Yeah.
I think a part of your story is your before and after, like,
Yep.
And have fun with it.
Yeah. I love it. I didn't write those down.
Like, any teasers about what you will be sharing? You know, a quote around, or
Ooh, a quiz would be good.
Oh yeah.
Like
Those polls, quiz.
yes, like a poll, like, or like Sunday night, like, how excited are you for Sunday night? Like, hey, love my job. Oh, it's okay. Hate my job. I don't know. Like, it'd be funny to do.
well, she had, and we don't have to do this, but that just came to me. She had, like, some of the speakers would offer some kind of like, they would do a drawing on their own call. And so they would tease for that, like, on this week's call, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And I think Julianne talked about doing that too on hers, but now I can't remember, which I guess it doesn't matter. She can do both, but well, yeah.
I think that's part of her notes. I'll go back and find it, but
Okay. Well, and maybe what we could do is, I don't know, that just gets tricky kind of a little bit with, I don't know, maybe the VPs could pitch in and do it once I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
here's what she says. Each presenter was allowed to do a raffle or drawing if they desired, for live participants only, and that was their responsibility to come up with the incentive, pick the winner, and deliver the product if they chose to do that.
Okay.
I.e., I'm going to give away a box of Fizz Sticks to anybody who was on the live tonight and places an order for $150 or more within 48 hours. We work to post before and afters, fun facts. Oh, okay. That's products too.
yeah,
Fun facts.
I was saying I don't like the product order thing because it's not about product, but that makes sense if it was product. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Who doesn't love a little free? I mean, it can be a cute bag with 6 samples in it, you know, a fizz, a tea, and
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever.
I would say just to keep the order out. They don't have to order, but they have to be live.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want. Okay. So Who's next? Who's the next one?
I can do the 12th.
Okay. Thank
said
you. Jamie.
Awesome. Jamie. Okay.
I have a question though. This might be kind of a dumb question, but are we going off of a script? Are you guys wanting us to go off the 30-day summary for the DA? Okay.
No, but this is something that actually Tara and I talked about, and I didn't write it down, but I do think that, again, we should teach our teams that if somebody gets on, and again, especially, and I don't want to complicate things, so maybe it's every time, but especially the first and third Monday, they really should have that Is This Business For You flyer with them, because I think that person should be going through that, because we want our teams to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't have to go through every single thing, but again, that's where I was talking about. Like, we need to pick the points that are obviously you're going to talk about the compensation. Like for me, every time I do it, I always share my why. I share what makes Arbonne different. So our ingredient policy. I share what is network marketing / time leverage. I share the comp plan, and I share the international growth. Like those are the 5 things that if I forget to say anything else, as long as I know that I kind of hit on that, and like how, and then the vision piece and going like objections, it's a good DA. Like it's all they need,
I love that Is Arbonne For You sheet.
Yeah. So you could go off of that. And if you're on the shorter week, maybe don't go over what is network marketing, but go over, I don't know.
Spend more time on your story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Angela, you're on the longer week, and Jamie, you're on a shorter week.
Okay.
We're up to the 19th. Who wants it? This would be so fun for them to hear from all of you. I love hearing people's stories.
Mm-hmm.
You said we're going live at 8:30, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ambra, can you do the 19th? She's muted.
Sorry, I couldn't find the button. Okay, so remind me, when are we doing the Teach at the Tables?
Yep, the third Monday.
Would that be this?
It would.
So that'd be the same, correct? I definitely am plugging into those.
Yeah, I wonder if we don't give that to like Aaron Johnson or
someone that can't be there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not tied to that date.
Good thinking.
I'm gonna put sweet Aaron Johnson on that one. Of course, Leslie too. She just messaged. Okay, so Amber, you want the 26th?
Yes, I'll do the 26th. That should work.
I was like, yes.
Okay, moving into March.
Can you imagine me?
Like a quick looking for.
What?
Cuckoo!
Yes. Yeah, I can do the next week, March 5th. Yes. And this is going to be so easy for me, you guys, because I'm so great with social media.
That is a positive affirmation. And
I know. I'm calling that in.
I'll drive down just to be a backup, just in case.
I might need it. And there's a good chance I'll be drinking wine. I'm not going to lie.
She'll drink a glass of wine with you first.
Oh my word. That's so funny that you'd rather stand up in front of a room full of 100 people than you would get on live. I love that.
I'm telling you, Marcy, I will be broken out in hives, but it's all good.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh.
Okay, I think we got everybody that's on here live. So
Yep.
maybe we'll just post the other dates, Marcy. Let
Yep.
them in the comments. Let them pick those. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Hey.
I'm so excited about that piece. All of the pieces. Really.
Me too.
Those affirmations again.
I know it.
Work. Okay.
Hey, girls, I'm sorry to even ask this. Was that February or March 26th?
February. No,
Okay.
you're good.
Got it.
Yep, you're good. We have Aaron at the beginning of March, and we still have, I think, 4 or 5 spots there. So
Yeah. Well, I think they'll fill, but I mean, I really think I don't think anyone's gonna have to go twice. Really. I mean, after if Tara and I do one, and then there's Julie, we have Carly, Leslie Hansen.
Kelly Kaltoff.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, yeah, we're gonna. But we'll just give Lazenby the doubles just to give her more practice.
Yeah. If there's one left over, you can go twice, Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm giving you both the bird right now.
Well, we started with that. We might as well end with that.
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, just bring that back around.
Okay, thank you.
Oh man. Yesterday morning, Sierra had on a Jayhawk shirt, and he's grossly offended by her Jayhawk shirts, you know. And funny, it was your mom, Marcy, who bought it for her, but she walked out the door and he was just giving her all kinds of like calling it her clown suit and people are going to make fun of you today. And she walked out the door and she opened up her coat and the Jayhawk was like right here and she was like totally gave him this face when she walked out and she shut the door behind her and I go, I think she just flipped you off. I think that was her version of giving you the bird. Just in the form of a Jayhawk. I mean, she had the face, like it was the whole thing.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, funny.
That's my inspirational closing for this call.
Yes, yes. Well, I'll just do a little wrap up here with just repetitiveness of
Good.
help us inform your teams, help us get your teams involved. You guys be a part of all of this. We do not want it to be the Tara and Marcy show. I don't want to be posting all the time. Like we want to see you guys go and
Send them reminders, like to get on the Saturday skills calls. Get that out and make sure they know you're going to be on, and you hope that they're going to be on.
Well, and you have the schedule, or you'll have the schedule, and you can say, just talk that up. Like Angela's one of my favorite people, and she's going to be sharing. Get on, get your friends on. Like help them with verbiage, all of that. So because it's got to come from you guys too. So yeah, it's good.
I was just gonna say, since it's kind of short notice for starting on Monday, I think I will do a drawing for a product, and hopefully that will help incentivize to get people at it since it's coming up.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, Ashley, I'll help you with that. Let's make it a good one. Just because, like you said, just to get it going. Let me help pitch in for that for you. Let's make it a big one. I was going to say, I might have, I need to see if I have an unopened protein shake. I have 4 protein shakes, and I'm afraid all of them are open for some weird reason. But if it's not, I'll donate one of those for sure. And then you and I can talk. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that'd be good. I think we should do that.
Yeah, and the Wellness Wednesday tip for tomorrow. I could try to maybe put a little plug before,
Yeah.
and then I'll talk about it on Sunday.
Too, and Mars, this can come from us, or I think it might be fun to come from you, Ashley. Like on our Purpose-Driven Dream Giver page, tell people hop over to the Live a Life of Pure Joy. Today, I'll be posting a Wellness Wednesday tip. Start plugging people in. And again, this can come from us too, but I'll be sharing on my story Monday. I'm the first one up, I think, just to get them in the habit of looking over there at that page. I think it'd be fun for that we'll back you, but I think that'd be fun to come from you. Since you're the brave soul going first.
Maybe you should go live in the Nation page and tell them what to expect. Just
Erin, Melody, you should probably do that in your week too.
Yeah. Just because I think people will see that more than just a post.
For sure, I will do that.
Okay.
I will make note
Better
of that.
watch, Erin.
Huh?
Better watch.
Yes.
Take notes. But then we need to all go in and post saying, "Yay, Ashley, can't wait!" Again, so it keeps it up. Just especially this first time around. I'm the believer that you don't need to tag people because they really should find it themselves and check the Facebook team page once or twice a day at least, right? But I think this time we need to, in order to build this, we just, again, don't tag your teams, but just if you keep commenting and liking it, it'll keep moving it. It'll keep it up at the top.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Yes, so much.
Thank you.
This is exciting.
Thanks, girls.
The team full of VPs and MVPs right here. It's like that's happening in 2018. So clearly it's happening.
Yes, it is.
My driveway's not going to be long enough for all those white Mercedes to get out there.
No.
Can't wait. They'd be sliding down it this morning. It was very icy.
Yes. We can park in front of the guy that was mean to the dog and park all of our cars, our Mercedes, in front of his house, and he won't know what to do.
And now we have wrapped it up.
I was telling Erin on Voxer today that ashamedly, there was a bus at a stop sign that I didn't see, and I blew right past it. And I was like, the one time you don't want a white Mercedes, because she knows it was a white Mercedes, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Dodging kids. Oh, shit.
I think you only do that once. I did that once 8 years ago, and I've never forgotten it.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I can't do that again.
No.
It's a bad feeling.
Awful.
Especially when the bus driver honks at you.
Yeah. That's what I wish I had, just like a minivan or something, because they would not, they would have been like, I think it was a minivan, but I don't know what kind. But I was for sure the cops were going to be waiting for me when I came back in the neighborhood. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, 2:30. You guys enjoy your day. This is going to be fun.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. You guys.